to pray. There's no angels where I go, only pieces that are broken, scattered dreams across the floor. I'm home.
Alrighty, hello everybody, this is Kirusho here. Now, whenever we last left off, Deku had just been in a bit of a fight. He had to deal with the fact that apparently he could not get close to his targets, or do anything like that. So, he had a bit of an idea. In order to gain more trust, he decided to confront the people who shut down the club. Now, after he confronted them, he nearly got into a fight with them. They figured out he had a fourth generation telekinesis. They were surprised at how strong it was. Tried to fight him. He sent one tumbling down the stairs, and he scared the other two with his illusions quirk. Or the other one. Now, with that being said, let us pick up around after school. Ayama is talking with Midoriya, and actually asking him some questions. Asking him if he really thinks it was wise to do that. He could have exposed himself. Even then, you have a, quirk, right? The boy who went, to the hospital, I'm guessing you took his quirk. You'd be right. Yeah, I did. My dad wanted me to, look for interesting quirks while I was at the school. His I saw in action, actually, so I thought it would be useful. I told my dad about it, and immediately, afterwards, we kinda went after it. Although my dad wanted me to kill him. What? Yeah, but I decided to leave him alive. Oh, okay, why? Well, it's a bit more suspicious if he was seen talking with me after school. Then he got murdered. So, even then, my dad just thought it would be a good idea for me to finally get blood on my hands. I did, but still. It was a bit tricky, so I'm not really sure what to do. Even then, I've gotten more quirks since then. Really? How many do you have? Let's see, about 12. Are you serious? Yeah. What about your quirk? My quirk? Yeah, I'm getting better at it, but still. I need to wear this stupid belt so that I can properly stop it from leaking out. Deku just staring down at it, looking at this little belt, telling Ayama that that's not gonna work. You can't rely on a support item to just use your quirk. If it's something that helps enhance your quirk, yeah, but if you're trying to control your quirk, then you're doing it wrong. Ayama confused, but at least understanding. Deku just saying that his dad told him that in order to properly control a quirk, you must give it time. It takes focus and, determination. If you're using that, then you're basically stopping yourself or just slowing your process down. So, you'll still make progress, but not the way you want it to be. So I suggest you just ditch that thing for now. Ayama, still a bit confused, but wants to at least know what Deku's talking about. Until they would split ways, Deku heading the direction to his home, while the person who is targeting Deku would begin to make his move. Now, as soon as Deku gets that alarm going on his head, he would immediately just fly himself upwards into the air, as the target comes smashing into where Deku is standing. A bit confused at what just happened, before he looks up, to see Midoriya just floating in the air as he begins to throw his left hand out. The target, or the person attacking him, would immediately feel this, basically feeling that these got smacked by a wall that was moving at 100 miles an hour. Them getting sent flying. Deku in complete shock. Now, he's not really sure what to do. He's thinking that he needs to only show off one of his quirks. So he's holding back then. Okay. Okay, think tactically, think tactically. Okay, I got it. Deku just bringing his hands up, waiting. Now, with that, something would come flying at Deku, appearing to be a bit odd. He's not really sure what it is. Now, Deku would immediately bring his hands up and stop this blast of whatever it is, as the villain comes running in, trying to fight Deku. Another villain actually tackling him to the ground. Deku confused and shocked, as he looks around. There is no one nearby. The villain basically pinning Deku to the ground, telling him that he is, well, captured. Give up. They already know about his dad, so ransoming you off will be quite a lot of money. Deku just asking what are they talking about. Them basically telling him to cut the axe. They know that his dad's a villain. Now, Deku would do one thing. Turning his hand over and immediately just mimicking the street. Turning into concrete. Or, yeah, concrete. As he would immediately just bring his arm backwards and smash it into the back of the villain's face. And get back up. Them being confused. Before Deku looks around once again, there is no one around. Okay, good. The villain is just stating that, of course, he has multiple quirks. Should have guessed it. Deku looking at theirs. He finds that this will be a bit tricky, but he needs to be careful. Now, one of the villains, they have a close range quirk, while the other one has a long range. So, Deku needs to be careful about this, as the adrenaline will begin to pump in his body. And the villain will rush forwards, trying to attack Deku. Thinking that this hardened state has increased his strength. Being surprised whenever Deku does actually take his punch, and then deliver his own, sending him flying. As the other villain will begin to fire upon Deku. Then basically using this long-range quirk to try and break through the concrete he's made of. Before Deku actually does turn on his ring. Or at least harden to steel, with the ring he has on his finger. Bringing his arm up and blocking the blast, sending it careening upwards, or at least reflecting it away from him, in his body. Like, this was a laser quirk. And Deku's just trying to make sure to stay away from it, as the rest of his body would harden to steel. Following. Now, Deku would be running in, as he actually does turn on his quirk deactivator. The villain surprised whenever he can't use his quirk, Deku coming in and smashing him across his face. The villain hitting the ground, and Deku just turning off his quirk, and sitting down. Him immediately pulling out his phone and calling his dad, telling him that he was just attacked. As soon as he says those words, Kirigiri would open a portal. And Tomura would come running out, along with Hisashi, trying to figure out what happened. Now, it would have taken actually about 1 to 2 minutes, but still, it would have been very, very fast. Hisashi basically seeing these villains and asking their quirks. Before, Deku would just state that they had a long range and a close range, all for one taking them and kidnapping the villains. As Deku would walk through the portal. Now, with that being said, all for one would have been surprised, considering the fact that his son seemed to handle that pretty well. Deku explaining that one of them tackled him to the ground and knew who you were. So, he's guessing it has something to do with the underworld, right? All for one just explained that yes, it does. In fact, These villains have been trying to vie for my spots. I sometimes step away from the underworld. Whenever I do, they try and take it from me. I disappeared quite a long time ago. Whenever I returned, that is whenever I began my reign once again, returning to the spot I properly owned. Ever since I lost it, more and more villains have been fighting for it, since they believe that they can take me down. They believe that that is why I left in the first place. I was defeated. In my place, a more powerful villain rose, or they believe he was more powerful. He was not. Anyways, I do believe that basic training is good, but we need to step it up. Now, with that being said, after Tomura interrogates the villains and finds out what happens, yeah, let's just say that they didn't get out of there alive. In fact, All for One basically sent them back to their lair in sandwich baggies as a pile of dust. Now, with that being said, over the next 3 months to 5 months, Deku would be getting more and more powerful, getting better control over his quirks, and actually beginning to learn more and more about his firebending, along with him being told to work on his weakest quirk, illusions. Now, with that being said, this stupid super intelligence quirk, as he calls it, or the buggy intelligence quirk, it has begun to get a little less buggy, so it's at least making improvements. Considering Deku does at least keep it on to work on his illusions, allowing his mind more time to be creative, and his creations to be a bit stronger. But whenever he does turn it off, he does feel the side effect of his brain somewhat just feeling numb. Now, along with that, with him doing this training and using different types of quirks, his body's beginning to get physically stronger, along with the fact that his combat training with All for One is giving him more and more physical toughness, since his dad usually does not hold back. He barely would show restraint. Usually their matches ending with Deku getting piled into the dirt, and having to get back up. Not really feeling the pain, just knowing that he needs to keep going. Now, with that being said, today is a bit different. All for One, whenever Deku walks down to the basement, would be explaining to Deku that he has had a bit of an idea. He knows that he is friends with the Aoyama boy, and that his target, Sayako, she is a bit tricky. Getting her quirk is no easy thing, so I have somewhat of a timeline planned out. Deku confused, but at least understanding. His dad just explaining that the timeline he has planned will consist of multiple plans, and you will need to play your part, my son. Do you understand? Deku just agreeing, as All for One to state that this is part of it. Explaining to Deku that since his, body has gotten physically stronger, he can possibly hold up to 3 more quirks. The doctor thinks that you can do 3, but I am betting that you can do 2 for now. How does your body feel, actually? Deku just explaining that he feels great. And in fact, he believes that he thinks that he knows where his dad is going with this. His dad, All for One, will just be a bit confused, asking Midori exactly where does he think this will go. Deku just walking over and looking over at this board, turning on his intelligence quirk, and beginning to try and think about this. as he would just state that his plan consists of him gathering allies. All for one just a bit puzzled, and giving an eyebrow raise to Deku. Now, I do not believe I said this, but in case I did not, in case I have or have not said this, All for One does not need this mask, like in the main timeline. In fact, he has not been wearing it at all. Now, with that being said, All for One would just look at Deku, and Deku would just say that if he has multiple allies, then he can possibly take down heroes easier. So, he can recruit more and more people, and give them promises of power. If he can give them quirks that they want, then they can join him. And, possibly, help him take down heroes in the future. All for One a bit puzzled, and actually intrigued by his son's plan. Before telling Deku that, if he is going to get allies, he believes that he should start with Aoyama. Aoyama is already in school, and the boy's parents tell me that he does talk to you a lot. So, I am guessing that you have a bit of a plan for getting Intelli's quirk. Deku just saying that, in fact, he does. He's thinking, if he gets Intelli's quirk, it would look too suspicious for her to just lose it one day. Because, as All for One just state that, they are getting more and more suspicious, the heroes. They have already sent All Might to investigate the one hero with his missing quirk. And he knows that I have done that. So, that is just it. All Might is going to be a problem. One day he will need to be taken down. So, Deku just saying that if he can't get Intelli's quirk, it would be bad. But he can possibly get Intelli on their side. It will just take him time. And, well, he needs to find a quirk that would give him proper thinking, or proper time to think. Besides, I need one that would help me. All for One a bit confused. Before, Deku would just look down at his hands, saying that whenever he was attacked, the first incident, he was surprised. And he didn't think rationally. In fact, he barely did. He was too slow. And that he needs to work better on that. All for One hearing his son say that, he is admitting that he has a flaw. So, that is at least good. As All for One just tell Deku that if that is the case, then he will find a quirk for him to help with that. He will find him a good quirk. In fact, he believes that he may already know someone with one. But you will not have to get it easily. You will need to beat them to earn their quirk. We will be seeing exactly what will happen. But you will also be training more and more. Intensely. Do you understand, my son? Deku just saying yes, as he heads out for the day. Thinking, is his dad sending, a villain after him? Or, no, that can't be right. Well then. He needs to think then. His dad's gonna find him a quirk, but he needs to find more himself. Otherwise, he's just being a bit lazy. Deku turning off this intelligence quirk, and somewhat shaking off his head. Thinking, if he can get Intelli on their side, then that would mean that he has another ally. And possibly, even a way to get her to help him. But how is he supposed to do that? The girl believes herself to be on top of the world, and the smartest. Deku continuing to think. Before he does eventually get to school. And the day somewhat goes like normal. although he is a bit quiet. And whenever he's playing the piano today, he actually does mess up a little bit. The club member is being a bit surprised, until he asks Midoriya if he is okay. Usually he gets that, well, he doesn't mess up. Deku is somewhat just saying that he has a lot on his plate. His father has just given him some news. That is not good. In fact, it is a little bad. So he is sorry that he messed up. He will try again. Now, with that being said, this is whenever he would just continue, going on and on and on. Eventually getting to the point where he would get the piece perfectly. And the club activities would be done for the day. Deku going to leave. A lot of people actually stopping him and asking exactly what happened. Since usually he's seen as a perfect person. Most of the quirks that he has, he uses in various degree. He uses his super strength in the gym to at least make it look like he's working harder, or at least going faster than everyone else. Adrenaline usually helping him keep up his pace. And whenever he needs to, he just, well, thinks about what to do next. In fact, he's beaten members of the chess club at their own game, beating 3 people in once. And a lot of people have known him for doing something like this. So him messing up is a bit odd. Now, with that being said, Deku, he would just tell him that it will all be fine. And in fact, if he does mess up again, then that just means that he isn't perfect. Them all being surprised. Deku leaving for the day. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed the video and have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next parts.